So we are barely into 2026, and space is already giving us more drama than a Hollywood blockbuster. It feels like we're turning a page, entering a new era where the biggest challenges aren't just about the rockets anymore, but about the very fragile humans we're sending up there. What if the biggest danger out there wasn't some huge asteroid or a rocket malfunction? What if it was something quieter, a medical emergency? It's a question that just became very, very real, and it's a powerful reminder that the most delicate thing we send into orbit is us. And yeah, that drama is happening right now, 400 kilometers above all of our heads on the International Space Station. And this is not a movie script. This is a real-life situation with real astronauts, a sudden medical problem, and a decision that has never, ever been made before in the history of U.S. spaceflight. And just look how fast this all went down. In basically a single day, a totally routine mission turned into something so serious that NASA had to make a call it has never made before. Bring the crew home now. This is a first, the first time a U.S. mission has ever been cut short because of a medical issue. Now, NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman is choosing his words carefully, calling it a controlled, expedited return, not an emergency evac. But what it means is they're taking no chances. And you can see why. Trying to diagnose what's wrong with someone in zero gravity with limited tools is, as you can imagine, incredibly difficult. And we have to remember, this isn't just a NASA crew. This is an international team. You've got astronauts from the US, Japan, and Russia up there. They've trained together, they live together, and now they're facing this together. They're putting the health of their crewmate ahead of absolutely everything else. So while this very human story was playing out inside the space station, a completely different kind of threat popped up on the outside, and is a huge reminder that the so-called emptiness of space, well, it's not so empty anymore. Okay, I want you to picture this. 50,000 kilometers up. That's way, way out there, much higher than most satellites orbit. And that's where Spain's brand new €2 billion military satellite just got smacked by a mysterious object. So what was it hit by? Well, the official term they're using is a space particle, which is a pretty vague way of saying we're not quite sure. It could be a tiny natural meteoroid, a speck of space rock. Or it could be a piece of our own junk flying around up there. And that's what's so alarming. At that altitude, it's incredibly hard to track small objects, which makes this whole thing a major wake-up call for the safety of our most critical satellites. And yet, with all these new dangers, you'd think we might slow down, right? Tap the brakes a little? Nope. Not a chance. In fact, our push into space is accelerating at a pace that is just breathtaking, really. It's all being driven by this intense competition between nations and private companies. I mean, the pace is just staggering. Just look at last year, 2025. China hit a new national record for itself with 93 orbital launches. Super impressive. But then, there's SpaceX. They did 165 launches. That is almost a launch every other day. The scale of this is something we have never seen before. And it isn't just about the quantity either. China hit some incredible milestones. I mean, they launched a mission to go grab samples from an asteroid, they started testing their first reusable rockets, and get this, they had the first ever barbecue in space. They also showed some serious skill by handling damage to one of their crew capsules while it was still in orbit. Okay, so with all this high-stakes drama and this relentless competition, it's pretty easy to forget the real reason we started looking up at the stars in the first place, isn't it? That simple feeling of pure wonder. Well, right now, the cosmos itself is putting on a little show to remind us. So let's take a quick break from the crises and the rivalries, because there's an open invitation here for every single one of us. An invitation to just step outside, look up, and see something truly spectacular that connects us all. So, on January 10th, Jupiter is going to be at opposition. It's just a fancy term that means Earth is passing directly between Jupiter and the Sun. And what that means for us is that Jupiter is going to be the absolute star of the night sky. It'll look bigger and brighter than any other time this year, blazing more than 3 times brighter than Sirius, which is already the brightest star we can see. And here's the best part. You don't need some massive telescope. If you just have a simple pair of binoculars, you can actually see its 4 largest moons. Here are a few times over the next few days where you can watch them travel right across the face of the planet. It's like watching a mini solar system in motion, right from your own backyard. So, when we pull all these different threads together, you've got a medical crisis, a mysterious impact, a crazy launch schedule, and a beautiful cosmic show. What does all this tell us about where we're headed? What does our future in space look like? It really feels like we're seeing a story with four big themes. First, the human drama. Our own fragility is now front and center. Second, the hidden dangers. We're learning that space itself has hazards we're just beginning to understand. Third, this unstoppable drive. Despite all the risks, we are pushing forward faster than ever. And finally, and maybe most importantly, we can still be stopped in our tracks by pure cosmic wonder. When you put it all together, it really points to one big thing. We have entered a completely new phase. Space isn't just about building bigger rockets and making new discoveries anymore. Now, it's about managing unbelievable complexity, brand new kinds of risks, and these deeply personal, very human stories that are playing out so far from home. Which leaves us with a pretty big question to think about, doesn't it? As we push further out, back to the moon and then onto Mars, are we really prepared for the human drama that is going to follow us out to the stars? I'd love to know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this explainer, don't